Noah's Rant.
What is up, Flip-A-Pon-A-My? It's been a while, hasn't it? Some of you were wondering if there would ever be a Noah's Rant again. I was one of those people. Wondering if there would ever be a Noah's Rant again. Well, Merry Christmas. The flip side has an end-of-the-year Christmas present for you, and it is another episode of Noah's Rant. For those that are regular listeners, maybe you just started picking up on the flip side and you've never heard of Noah's Rant before. Somehow it's escaped you. I mean, it's a global sensation, viral. It's kind of like if you've never heard of Taylor Swift. You know, perhaps some haven't. Perhaps you've never heard of Noah's Rant. Well, I used to do a Noah's Rant at the end of every episode, which is incredible. I have to admit, it is incredible that, one, I had enough things to rant on that I could come up with a rant at the end of almost every episode of The Flip Side, and we're almost at 100 episodes now. And two, that I thought it was good enough podcasting to do a very serious episode on some topic that's very deep and sensitive, and then in the snap of a finger, flip into this crazy attempt at humor, bizarre absurdity of Noah's Rant. And so we don't do that anymore. We've adjusted the podcast. We've tried to trim down the length of the long-form episodes, and also realizing that while Noah's Rant is an attempt at humor, it's an attempt to be funny, I was still a little weird to switch that quickly from serious to funny. So now what we do, and there's always a preface on these, we have single episode. That's what this is. It's a socially distanced episode, so Noah's Rant cannot infect the rest of the flip side. Not everybody likes Noah's Rant, so just don't listen to these. We'd invite you to still subscribe, to continue being a flip side follower, but these are an attempt at humor. They're attempt to be funny. They're just silly, and they're really just nonsense. They are nothing more than that. So that's your warning before we jump into Noah's Rant. First, you might notice a few things. One, look at this sweet mic stand I've got going on. Shout out to Peter Sung, the Flipside guest of episode 87. I needed a new setup for my mic stand, and I was jealous of his. His still looks better. I haven't quite figured it all out, but at least you can see my whole face now. This at least looks cool. This looks like we're leveling up. The flip side is leveling up, thanks to Peter Sung. So be careful, because if we level up too much, see, our goal on the flip side, it's to be your third favorite podcast. My mug here, which is carrying my delicious Angry Brew. Shout out Angry Brew for endorsing, encouraging Noah's Rant. Well, the problem is if we keep leveling up with sweet mic stands like this, we already leveled up on the mic earlier this year. Soon, we're going to be your second favorite podcast, and that is a problem because I don't want to make new mugs. I don't. So I'm going to do what I can to keep the quality low and to keep in the third slot of your favorite podcast. So hopefully we achieve that goal going into 2024, New Year's. It's always good to have goals. That's the flip side's goal, not to improve. Actually to get worse. Since we're leveling up in other ways, we have to compensate for that by lowering our standards in other areas, so it all evens out in the end. Now, without further ado, let's give you what you've been waiting for the last few months. And I know every time you look at your phone, you refresh your podcast feed, you're hoping, you're wishing, you're praying for a Noah's Rant. Well, sometimes in prayer you have to wait, and this time you did. But here is an answer to your prayer. The one, the only Noah's Rant.
Noah's Rant.
All right. Angry Brew in store. In today's rant, we are going to be talking about puzzles. So my wife likes puzzles. I would ask you not to judge her. I would ask you to hold your judgment on that. But let's. This is why puzzles are fresh in my mind, because my wife just recently pulled out another puzzle and spread it all over the table, and it just got me thinking about what these things are. So somebody takes a beautiful piece of art, a picture, maybe it's of some kittens or New York City Town Square. What's that place called where they do New Year's Eve? Whatever. And there's this beautiful picture. And they look at it and they say, this is great. This is a great piece of art. And then someone else comes along and they say, you know what we should do with that great picture? Let's chop it up into 1,000,000 pieces. And then let's put it in a box and make somebody put it all together. Now, that's cruel, first of all. But then we go out and we spend, I don't know, $20, $25 on this puzzle. Maybe it's a 500-piece puzzle. Maybe it's a 1,000-piece puzzle. And we spend our time taking these pieces and putting them together. And it'd be nice if the thing came with some instructions to tell you which piece went where. And if you buy anything off, you go to IKEA and you buy some furniture, you buy something on Amazon that you have to put together. It comes with instructions. It tells you step 1, you put this part here. Step 2, you put this part here. Makes the process much easier and much less frustrating. Can you imagine buying some new piece of furniture and it just had all the parts in a box, and it was like, enjoy, suckers. And then they cut it up into 500 pieces for you. That would be awful. They're kind and Christian and loving, and in the spirit of Christmas, they put instructions in there to tell you what piece goes where. Not the puzzle people. No instructions in the puzzle of how to put these pieces together. They're just thrown randomly into a box, super messy, not organized whatsoever, and worst of all, they make all the pieces look exactly the same. So you pick up one piece and it looks identical to the other piece, and you're trying to cram these things together and they don't fit. It's a very frustrating process. Now, what would be fine is at the end of the puzzle, if we glued the puzzle together and said, we did it. We finally accomplished our goal of this excruciatingly painful mental process of putting all these little jagged pieces together that look identical without any instructions, and we have recreated beauty. We have recreated the original piece of art. The original collage of kittens has been recreated. Times Square, that's what it's called, has been recreated. Maybe it's Times Square with kittens all over it. You can do anything with art. It's amazing. You've recreated it. Let's glue it all together and put it in a frame and put it on the wall. We've earned our art. Oh, no, not these puzzle people. You work for days and days and days. You cover up the puzzle. You got to keep food off of it, keep the pets away from it. You work hard at this thing, and as soon as the puzzle is put together, you know what these puzzle people do? They rip it apart. They tear it to pieces, as if they didn't just work tirelessly for days, spending hours and hours and hours on this, and then they call it fun. Can you imagine any other part of life that we would do this with? We have a fake Christmas tree. Judge us if you want. That's fine. We have to put that thing together. Can you imagine putting the tree together and then you put all your ornaments on it and then you get done and you're like, man, that was fun. Rip the thing apart. After 5 seconds, throw it back in the box. Your kids want a tree house. Talk about putting something together. You have all the wood and you're putting it together and you get it out on the tree and you're like, man, that was fun. Now let's get a crowbar out and rip that thing to shreds. Yeah! We just remodeled the kitchen. Awesome. New counter, new cabinets. Fun. Let's rip this thing apart and tear it back down to pieces and throw it into a box. You know why people don't do that? Because people aren't crazy. People don't do that because it's not actually fun. So we have to ask the question, we need to raise a little concern about puzzle people. People that like puzzles. It's loving sometimes to have intervention. In fact, I'd say it's always loving to have an intervention. They're uncomfortable, but they're necessary. And if you care about the people in your life that are puzzle people, the flip side wants to encourage you. Noah's Rant wants to encourage you to have an intervention, to have them listen to this Noah's Rant. You don't even have to associate yourself with it. Leave this link open. Steal their phone and then open up their browser to this episode and just leave it. And they'll think it was from God. It's beautiful. All right, in conclusion, if you think I'm just a hater on all things puzzle, it's not true. You know the puzzles I like? The 12-piece puzzles. We have a 12-piece Dora the Explorer puzzle, and I've done it countless times with my children throughout their upbringing, and it's wonderful. It's a great puzzle. It has Dora and Boots on there. Boots is a monkey, and they're having a good old time. We put it together. It's in the shape of a circle. There's 12 pieces. It takes about 15 seconds to put together, and then my kids just tear it apart and redo it. It's fantastic. So, if you want to do a puzzle, I'd recommend the Dora and Boots puzzle, sponsored by Noah's Rant. We're an affiliate for Dora puzzles on Noah's Rant, and so have yourself a good time. But if you're doing 1,000-piece puzzles, 500-piece puzzles, as we've described on this ad, I'm just going to pray for you that this Christmas, this New Year's is a reflective time, and that you're able to reflect on some of your issues, and that the Lord works in mysterious ways and speaks to you and can really rescue you. The Lord wants to free you. We're all about freedom here on the flip side. If you know our theme song by Kay Lake, you know we're all about freedom here. The theme song on the flip side. Noah's Rant doesn't have its own theme song, just has Tarzan flying into a plate of glass. But beyond that, we love freedom. We want to free you from being a puzzle person. That's it for Noah's Rant. Let's close by just showing off my sweater here, my ugly sweater. It is Christmas season right now. Go Jesus. It's your birthday. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. It's your birthday if you're watching on YouTube. I hope that you celebrate Jesus' birthday, not by putting a puzzle together. If you bought someone a puzzle for Christmas, shame on you. Shame on you. That's cruel. That's just a cruel thing to do to someone. And depending on when this posts, you may have a day or so to go return that thing if you kept the receipt, and instead order yourself some Angry Brew and send it to them instead. Let me shout out Angry Brew. What a sponsor we have. Slurp. If you like today's Noah's Rant, it's all because I drank some Angry Brew right beforehand. If you didn't like Noah's Rant, you should never have been listening. I told you, don't listen to this. It's garbage. It's trash. It's not even funny. It's your fault anyway. Don't blame me. Don't blame Angry Brew. But if you'd like some Angry Brew, if you'd like to support our sponsor, go to fivelakes.com or angrybrew.com. Use promo code FLIP, and you will get 10% off your order, and you will support the flip side. You will be endorsing more Noah's Rants in the future. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Tune in on YouTube, youtube.com/NoahFlippiak, or your favorite podcast place to get more long-form episodes of The Flip Side. And, of course, the one, the only Noah's Rant.
Noah's Rant.